I want to appeal to everyone who wants to raise their dissatisfaction to do so in an orderly manner. We've been in existence for 110 years, and this is not the time to come and display this type of disorderly behavior in the presence of international guests.
Well, for more, let's cross to that party conference and France 24 correspondent Nadine Theron in Johannesburg. Nadine, a vocal minority, or is the ANC tearing itself apart?
Well, the ANC is very divided, and it might be a minority of ANC members who still support former President Jacob Zuma, but they are making themselves heard very loud and clear. And the president continued with his opening address despite being heckled and jeered by Zuma's supporters. But Zuma no doubt enjoyed his very fashionably late entrance that disrupted the entire beginning of the conference. And Ramaphosa's woes are far from over. And this is not just about the Pala report and the investigation into that foreign currency that was stolen from his farm. This is about a war. As the president's spokesperson said, it's a personal dispute, a personal competition between former President Jacob Zuma and President Cyril Ramaphosa. And Ramaphosa admitted in his address that he knew that when he started his crackdown on corruption, that it would divide the party, because those who are involved in corruption would not like that, and it's exactly what happened. He also admitted that the July riots of 2021 was a reaction to the crackdown on corruption, and the country has suffered greatly because of that. You know, he didn't recognize former President Jacob Zuma's entrance, but the presence was felt during his entire speech. And Ramaphosa made it clear that his big task that he saw when he was appointed in 2017 was to get rid of state capture and root out corruption. And he has taken big steps towards that. He also addressed South Africa's electricity crisis, which is one of the things that most South Africans really want to know about. Currently, it's on load shedding level 6, which means South Africa is experiencing at least 6 hours of daily power outages. So Ramaphosa promised today that he will instigate a commission of inquiry into the sabotage of South Africa's state power supplier, Eskom. And he also said South Africa is considering getting private power suppliers in case of an emergency. So that was some really good news for South Africa. However, he said that the coal power stations won't all be closed down despite the transition to renewables, and that some of the coal power stations will remain open. Ramaphosa obviously addressed the big divide and the white elephants in the room, the divide in his party, saying that the unity of this party is actually important for the entire South Africa. And he is really trying to unite them, but he just said that it's really important for members to think about this and to stop tearing, splitting into groups, and to stand together. Because, as you heard, he was embarrassed by the heckling that Zuma's supporters did, and he was humiliated by the lack of respect that half of his party supporters seemed to show for him, his party members. And Zuma's camp didn't seem to be listening to him at all. But he powered on, and he finished his political report in which he made some very good points about the past 5 years of his presidency.
Nadine, the African National Congress, the party of Nelson Mandela, the one that's been in power ever since the end of apartheid, an unbroken spell, and it's had divisions in the past, and each time the rank and file have closed ranks. Could this one be different?
It certainly feels different, and those who've attended all the African National Congress's conferences say that this time the divide is bigger than ever. And it's been said at previous conferences, but it is getting worse, and it has been getting progressively worse over the years. As Ramaphosa said, this might be because of his crackdown on corruption, but it also has to do with the ANC's alliance with the South African Communist Party and the Union COSATU. And Ramaphosa said that the ANC should really rethink this alliance and restructure it so that it works better for everyone. He has just left the conference. His convoy was just seen leaving, but he is still facing a vote, and members are still going to debate whether or not they want him to run for president. And we expect that Zuma will then again have his voice heard. The former Secretary General of the party, the suspended Ace Magashule, who is also on trial for corruption, he said that Zuma is here as a delegate, a party member from the KwaZulu-Natal branch, and he will certainly involve himself in debates and have his voice heard. So this is just the beginning of a lot of debating that will be happening this weekend before the new leadership of the ANC will be announced. And as we've seen today, disruptions might occur, and if the Zuma camp doesn't get what they want, they might disrupt again. That's what they did during the July riots of 2021.
All right, some bruising politics ahead, it seems. Nadine Theron reporting live from Johannesburg.